Training is step 4 in the successful inventory software implementation project model. I'm Lance, inventory software expert since 2006. In this video, we're going to talk about step 4, training. So this is the exciting step that everyone wants to get to. This is when we see the house built, basically. We see the project coming to a close. Training should happen right before go live. We don't want anyone to forget what they learned, so timing is really important. And oftentimes, we can tell how long training is going to take because step 3 is the procedure documentation. We already know what people want to learn, and by this step, we should have already decided whose roles and responsibilities are going to be assigned. Who is going to be assigned to which roles and responsibilities, right? So we should already have the procedure documents created. We should already have the files set up. We should already have the overall workflow vision, the overall picture of how everything's going to connect and operate. Who's going to receive? Who's going to purchase? Who's going to enter sales orders? Who's going to pick? Who's going to schedule manufacturing if you are a manufacturer? Who's going to enter invoices? Who's going to do the accounting side of things, AP, AR? So all of these things should have already been figured out. Now, way back in the day when I worked for Fishbowl from 2006 to 2009, we really focused a lot on training. And it's obviously why training is important. In some companies, that's all they need. The smaller onesie-twosie companies, when I say onesie-twosie, I mean 1 or 2 users, right? If it's just you in the company, then inventory software implementation may be more of a plug and play. But if you're doing, around 50 to 100 million a year, or if you have 5 to 20 users, then you need to put more thought into what each individual role and responsibility is. So here's something to think about. When you're training, understand that not everyone needs to know what all the features in the software are. And I used to do this back in the day, and I've learned from my mistakes, right? A lot of these principles have come from my past success and my past failures. And this has definitely been a learning experience for me since 2006, is not only teach those who are going to be using the software right before go live, but also only teach them what they need to know, okay? There is one person in your company that should know everything about the inventory software. That's the key person, the champion, the boots on the ground, the project manager, whatever you want to call this person. But those who are getting trained in their individual roles and responsibilities should be given a procedural document to follow that should have already been created. So they know exactly, clearly outlined on paper, what their new responsibility is. Also, who are they accountable to? Perhaps the person they're accountable to needs to also know how to perform or carry out that role or that responsibility. So make sure you're prepared for training. And then also make sure that those who are being trained have adequate time to practice and voice their concerns. We want to make sure that what we want to implement, the processes and procedures we want to implement, are actually workable and doable. So sometimes a little bit of training or this step could be performed back in the procedural creation step in step 3, where you could present the new procedure to someone who is going to carry it out and say, hey, what do you think about this? Get their feedback. So by the time step 4 comes around to train, they really just practice. Those that need training, obviously, give them training, but practice in the sandbox file. That's another important thing is you can't really learn in the live file in all cases. I think in most cases, the best place to learn and receive your training is in a sandbox environment. So, although we're in a sandbox environment, it's important that those being trained are entering realistic or even live transactions. This means they'd probably be doing double entry, right? They'll be entering the live transaction in your current environment, however you're tracking it in a spreadsheet or in QuickBooks or another software program you're moving from. But it's important to be in the live mindset when you are practicing in this new inventory software that you're learning how to use. Put live orders in. We want to discover any last problems. If on go live day we discover problems, then we know that the training and practice was not done properly. Remember that this is the time to also test to assure this new procedure is going to work. Sure, in the previous step, in step 3, on the very last day of step 3, we scheduled the go live date. We said, all right, we know exactly when we're going to go live because we can estimate how long training is going to take. But if we discover something wrong in training, bring it up. We can push the go live date back, hopefully, right? Or let's solve the problem. But we don't want problems on go live day. So step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, they're all preparation steps for go live day. And training and practice is absolutely preparation for go live day. One thing you could do during training also, and this is kind of a kill two birds with one stone, is enter live orders into the live file or the live account as well. Okay. Now, of course, we can't process those orders in the live file until go live day, but we can enter them. And this may be good practice. So I like to say, if you're practicing or learning the new inventory software like a week or 2 before go live day, you should practice it at least 5 times. Build muscle memory. Don't just learn the inventory software, but practice it to the point where you hardly have to think about what you're doing. You've already developed the habit and you understand how it's going to work. You understand how to do your job properly. All right. A good way to train: show, explain, show, help, and then watch. All right. Explain, show, help, watch. It's kind of shadow leadership type of training. Show the person you're training how to do it, or explain, step 1, explain to the person how you're going to do it, show them how to do it, and then let them sit in the hot seat and actually key in or tap the screen or click on the mouse while you watch them do it. This is the shadow leadership, where you're shadowing them, watching them do what they just saw you do. Okay? And then it's important that they do it on their own without you, and then come back with questions. Once they do that, the next step is they should show you how to do it. If someone can explain how to do something properly, if someone can train someone else how to do something properly, you know they've got it down, right? So trainer should explain and show and shadow. The learner should practice and and well, practice again, should learn and then practice and then train. So let's just recap. The best approach for training is to assure that it's step 4 in the implementation process, not step 1. It's done before go live day, so the timing is right. Okay. It's done with a procedural document, so roles and responsibilities are clearly defined. Okay. And then it's practiced at least 5 times. Also, it's done in a realistic mindset, and live orders are entered into a sandbox environment, into a mock environment. So good luck with your training step. I'm Lance with Brando Consulting, inventory software expert since 2006. Like below if you like this video, if it was helpful, comment. Love to hear about your experiences training and learning new inventory software. And subscribe to see more soapbox videos like this, or to see tutorial videos. That's definitely a good way to learn too, is to watch a video of the procedure that you're trained to do. But be sure to follow the unique procedure document that was given to you, because every company does something uniquely. Don't think that just because the standard procedure shown in the video is the standard means that's the way your company may do it, right? So be sure to follow your own procedural document.